Hey, I'm Guy.
I'm John.
It's our YouTube channel. Subscribe to it. Give this video a like. We appreciate that.
Podcast below in the description. Check that out as well.
And our friends at wineaccess.com/ham. 20% off, John.
Send a gift right now. wineaccess.com/ham. 20% off.
Here are the current NFC West odds to win the division from our friends at mybookie.ag. Promo code HAM1. And here they are. The Rams plus 180. That's 1.8 to 1. A lot of money to be made here, John. The Niners at plus 170. That's 1.7 to 1. Seahawks at plus 280. That's almost 3 to 1. And the Cardinals at plus 400. That's 4 to 1. I saw at a different site today or yesterday the Rams and the Niners with the same odds. So I say that to say that MyBookie is not the only place that considers the Niners a favorite or a co-favorite in the division. And that surprised me. Does that surprise you?
Yeah, if I just take my I don't even need to take a bias out. I guess my bias is actually the opposite. I think this is nuts. If I was a Seattle fan, if I was John Schneider, if I was Pete Carroll, we won the division last year. We won the division last year. That happened. We did that. I'm pretty sure if I had to take an educated guess, 5 of the last 9 years they've won the division. I guess the Niners, the Rams won a couple. Maybe it's 4, but definitely 4 or 5. Like, it's not like, they've only won the division once in 5 years. Like, no, they win it a lot. I mean, they've kicked a lot of ass. And even the years they don't win it, I don't know, they make a fucking wild card. So if you make a wild card, that means you're probably just a field goal away, maybe a fumble from winning that division. Like, if you go 11-5 and they go 12-4, it wasn't like, God, they just next year I don't know if they could ever win the division. You mean just like that interception that he threw that he doesn't throw and they actually win that other game and they actually get the tiebreaker? Like, that's I understand just going, that was the Niners establish who they are with this core of guys. They'll get back, not the injuries. I get it. To me, like, all 3 should be like 2 to 1 then. Seattle shouldn't be basically a full point lower than these guys. That's if I was going to bet on this, which the future bet to me, I'd need a little more juice to put, like, because you'd have to put a decent amount of money to be interested to like $500. But if all I can do is $10
my
money,
$17 on the Niners.
Yeah, so I was like, well, I'm going to wait for $17. So even $50, like, okay, I get 120. Like, you'd have to put a large amount. I think the bet would just be on Seattle. Like, if you put $500, it could pay, almost 50. It's almost 3 to 1. Like, that's insane. Do you agree? Like, that they are that much lower than these other 2 teams when they are just right there time and time again with the same quarterback?
300 on Seattle pays $840. Yeah. 300 on the Rams would pay $540. 300 on the Niners would pay $510. You want to do Arizona just for fun? 300 on the Cards. Yeah, that one's easy. You're right. 4 to 1. Good math. Yeah, it surprises me. Now, I do wonder
if I said you had to put $300 on one of these 4, I mean, you might just do it in the Niners for fun.
I might go John Rahm and just put it on Seattle. The Rams, the team that I think is most likely to win it.
Yeah.
Right, John Rahm was the favorite. He won. But to me, Seattle, I'm with you. It's value. I do wonder if part of this is, I'd be curious, are the Niners just are the Niners just more of a public team? My guess is that they are more of a public team.
I would agree.
Than any of these others. And I think what probably puts the Rams ahead of Seattle is just the Matt Stafford juice, I would imagine, has people itching a little bit more on them. And I understand why you would pick
I got
the
no
Rams.
problem making the Rams the favorite. I just, if anything, the Niners and Seattle have to be tied. Like, the Niners shouldn't be a full point ahead of Seattle. Like, even the year they won the Super Bowl, guys, do you remember? I attended one of those games, and they lost in overtime. The other one, we all watched the seat of our couch. The Niners, there was not a human being probably, I would have guessed, 25 million people watched that game, that the last minute and a half didn't think, fuck, the Niners are losing this game, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, we've saw that Niners, that was the elite team. That was they fucking rolled to the Super Bowl. They had a 10-point lead going to the fourth quarter. They lost to Seattle at home, and then the other game they had to have, a top 5 regular season moment in the history of the franchise.
I think
a franchise
that,
that's been in the playoffs for like 30 years.
I said to you the other day, I think that season is so underrated for how much they won and yet how often the season felt like it was in the balance.
God, they would have been the 5th seed if the guy.
They went 13-3, and it felt like there were 5 different other times when they could have ended up. The Saints game felt like it was going to.
They literally were an inch away from being the 13-3 or 12-4 in the 5th seed. That would have been nuts.
It would have been.
Do they go to the Super Bowl if they're the 5th seed?
I mean, they were really good that year.
Would have been 3 road games though to get the Super Bowl.
I still think they were the best team in the conference that year, but you're right. I mean, you can't.
It just would have been much more difficult.
Harbaugh did it.
He did. Did he?
Well, 2, right? Road games. You go Carolina, Green Bay.
Yeah, and then he fell up short. And he lost to Seattle. Crabtree.
Yeah.
Don't come at me with Crabtree.
But I see the value in it. Is there value in the Cardinals? I know what you're going to say to that.
I think that's pretty telling. Like, is that more just they don't think people would bet on them, or they don't respect them, or a combination of both?
Or are they trying to get people to bet on the Cardinals because they don't think anybody would?
Under no circumstances could I put the money on them.
I couldn't either.
I might if you said, "Hey, put $100 on them 2-1 to make a wild card or something." I would never bet on them to win the division.
What would Arizona's number have to be for you to bet on the Cardinals? 8-1.
Yeah, it'd have to be it'd have to be like a Cincinnati Bengal Jag type number.
Because one thing you'd say, right, is it's just be the best. All it takes is the Niners quarterback's been hurt. All it takes is one of the other 2 quarterbacks to get hurt.
Well, there's no disputing. Like they are not. You wouldn't look at them like the Texans or something, right? I mean, They do have players. They do have a lot of talent.
Well, as an example, the Falcons and Panthers are plus 600 and plus the Lions are plus 1,600. This is the only. This is like NFC East level close. Actually, it's closer.
I think I saw on my Twitter timeline you could bet 500 to 1 Lions win the Super Bowl.